So, radiation therapy departments are burdened with many complex tasks to ensure that patient treatments are delivered safely and efficiently. Nothing new there for you, right? Regulatory requirements, task groups, and manufacturers' recommendations for quality assurance keep evolving, but that usually means adding more tasks to departments' already long to-do lists. Fortunately, we have an answer to providing uncomplicated flexibility in QA and departmental management with QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot. QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot provides all the tools needed to easily increase efficiency, security, compliance, and accountability, which is hugely beneficial to users. It is a truly vendor-neutral solution, which is also a great benefit to users, as it means that you do not need to replace your currently used QA devices in order to use this powerful QA management software. And note that vendor neutrality for QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot extends beyond just Linux manufacturers, but to QA devices and phantoms as well. QA Pilot is provided as software as a service model, which means that it offers instant benefits of lower entry costs as there's no large initial capital investment, lower maintenance costs thanks to minimal local footprint and automatic software updates, lower hardware costs since the service is delivered via a web browser, thus eliminating the need for expensive specialized hardware. And scalability. Grow your QA platform as your organization grows. Using QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot is made simple with menus, dashboard views, and customization so users see what is applicable to them in their roles. We make setup easy with uncomplicated presets for machine types, user roles, QA templates, machine logs, and more. But we also understand the need for flexibility, so allow customization. For all of these things I just mentioned and more. Take user roles, for example, if you have an accreditation review coming up, then provide an auditor with a guest login where they can see reports, documents, and the machine logs. So keep them organized, keep them in one place so they don't go digging. No need for a whole bunch of binders. Makes life a whole lot simpler. For a therapist, they can come into work and open the QA Pilot and easily begin to do their daily work by seeing only what is assigned to them. A chief physicist who has oversight of all sites and machines under their responsibility, of course, needs a lot more information. So we have what they will generally come into view is the review page where they can see the current status of QA schedules that have been performed, machine logs, and equipment. So features like, and then we offer things like collapse or expand, all in various screens. We offer various filters, color coding, and worded alerts and warnings that allow users to really navigate quickly to what's important to them. It's important to note that QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot isn't simply about performing and reviewing QA schedules either, but there are plenty of features that increase efficient and effective communication and process improvement for the department as a whole. Documents of all types can be uploaded and stored and shared within QA Pilot. Machine logs and ILS logs are used to track a variety of items that are of concern for the radiation therapy department as a whole. And we allow various types of analysis that allows those responsible to compare trends across sites and machines. Our latest add-on feature to QA Pilot is the PIPSpro AutoPilot section, which allows users to take advantage of our automated analysis of image-based tests. Whether it's for TG142 or another protocol that is for imager and machine QA, PIPSpro AutoPilot will automatically analyze uploaded image files and display the results in the assigned schedule. No manipulation of images is required. no need to mark fiducials, no need to define analysis regions. It's all done automatically. As with QA Pilot, generally, it is incredibly easy to create customized QA schedules that include PIPSpro AutoPilot image-based tests through template management. We offer a number of preset templates as a starting point from which you can then create copies and modify to suit your needs. Again, uncomplicated with preset templates, flexibility, and the ability to copy and modify. Or instead of that, you have an existing QA template and you want to add image-based tests. Of course, we allow you to do that as well. An icon within the available test menu, which is always on the left in template creation, are indicated with a little icon. Those can be selected and then they move over to your selected test of a current QA template that you are using. And then of course we want to make the software work for you, so you can reorder the tests here that have been selected so that they follow your clinical workflow. Once your QA schedule is set, you can simply drag and drop your images into the template for analysis. The images, test results, and trended data are automatically added to your database in the cloud. Monthly QA, as we all know, is often done throughout the month, which is very nicely supported by PIPSpro AutoPilot QA Pilot in general. Summary results for each test section are displayed so you know immediately whether something needs further investigation or where to start, based on whether these circles are open or closed. If they're opened, it means there's something more to be done. You can also click on the incomplete test list and be taken straight to that section of the QA schedule in order to continue where you left off. So let's take a closer look at the software. I've chosen a few things to highlight. There is just an incredible wealth of information and functionality available in the software. So I'm going to touch more on some of the things that allow for flexibility and that may be some of the newer features of the software in general. So here I'm actually in the Manage menu, which is where you create or edit a variety, everything that's run within the software, but I've chosen to look at the user roles in particular. As stated previously, we provide a bunch of preset configurations. We have given those the name of guest, administrator, physicist, so on and so forth. Those that are preset can be modified, but they can't be deleted. We also allow you to create a custom user role type, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So we're going to create a new role within our organization. You have to select one of the underlying presets, but then you can, of course, choose to edit it from there. So we're going to modify it just like we would for here. If you wanted to modify the underlying role for your organization, that's fine. If you want to modify based on custom role types, then do that as well. And again, you start by indicating, is it a guest? Is it a service engineer? Because we separate those. And should this only be able to connect things for which you're actually connected to sites and machine-wise. But then you can see that there are a bunch of things that are by default checked, and there are some things which are not. Things that are view or that you may be able to edit, where it says manage or delete, although nothing is truly deleted in QA Pilot, is just archived away because this is your audit log for everything that happens. You can determine for your organization, and it is really the owner role that can determine who can manage things and who can edit these particular roles. So I'm logged in as an owner, so I get to see everything, which makes it easy for me to be able to show you things. So anyway, this is, or I don't want them to be able to manage certain things, you can remove that as well. And then you just save it very easily. I'm going to just back out of this because I don't wish to edit that today. But again, we offer that flexibility for you. Another thing that I would like to show here while we're in the manage section is the measurement devices. Again, I'm in here as an owner, so I'm seeing everything. This is where the filters definitely come into play and may be important to you. So, oops, I selected, I actually wanted to go into this example, and I want to go into the X-rated A19. So there's a couple of things to note here. We have put in a task, it's overdue. So we click on it and it takes us into what it was. It's the calibration. This is a calibration space that also makes life uncomplicated for you, an easy way to manage things. And we have built in things to help you out. So what do I mean by that? First of all, we offer you the flexibility to put in a water equivalent. In this case, we call it solid water, but you could be using plastic water, blue water, virtual water. You can update your calibration factors via this one. We also have the TG51, and we have built-in worksheets for those. If you want to update your TG51 calibrations, we also give you a place for your KQ values. Now, this is something that we do allow you to be able to calculate within the software. Again, adding that ease of use for you, the customer. You can determine whether you have performed this in conjunction with other colleagues. Is it a flattening filter beam? Did you use lead foil? And once you've chosen those things, you get the information of what the measurements are that you need to use. We tell you what formulas are being used. And again, we allow you to choose your calculation method, whether it's linear interpolation or a curve fit. So we allow you to do these things right within QA Pilot, just making your life that much easier, that much centralized, and easy to do. I'm just going to close out of that. I also, 1, 2, 3. If we go back to, we're just going to go ahead and leave this. Well, I should have just gone back there. Anyway, so we're looking at here. The other thing I wanted to say, if you're editing a device and you may want to set the device up for use for TG51, for example, there are fields in here that allow you to fill those, by filling them out here once and done, your wall material, your wall thickness, your cavity radius, and so on, that will auto-populate and make this selections easier when you're using a TG51 worksheet. So let's take a look at what that worksheet is. So again, this is pre-built into the system. Whether you have options for SSD or SAD setup. I've been playing around in this one, so we'll go in here. This will come up and it'll show that it's in progress. One of the recent updates is that we used to have it that you could only select one energy per worksheet. Now it's any energies that are available, so you can have just one worksheet, work through them, energy after energy, and fill that out, and then it's all in one report for you. Another thing that we also offer, you'll see that in every test, we offer a place to add a comment. Not only do we add comments to an overall schedule that is being performed, but individual tests allow you to also add comments. So what did I mean by, well, we had set the, things being available and making it easier and faster for you to use. In this case, our drop-down menu for ion chamber includes the X-rated A19, only the A19 right now, because that's what I have set up in here. And by clicking that, these grayed out fields, they're pulling that information in from the equipment management section of the software. Same thing for the electrometer. Any information that was entered when that piece of equipment was created or edited, it's pulling in the necessary information here. Another nice feature is we're showing you exactly what it is that we're talking about in our calculations, what's going to be used. You'll see your 12 and 18 are both displayed here. You're going to put in your temperature corrections. When you're taking your electrometer readings, we're also embedded the instructions for that. We have created this one ourselves, but for any schedules that you create, you can also choose to embed instructions straight in the schedule that's being performed, so it's always viewable. You can also, when you set up your schedules, choose to provide a link to an external document as an instructional feature as well for those that are performing the QA in at your site. Again, we have anything that's in gray. These things will be calculated once you've put in your electrometer readings. It's going to perform the correction factors and give you the information here for your final energy information. If you find that this isn't within the tolerances allowed within your organization and you need to go back to the machine to make an adjustment, you can choose to make an adjustment at your machine, and then you're going to want to retake some readings, and you're going to want that recorded in the same spreadsheet. So we, of course, allow you to do that. So I am going to just go ahead and save QA as it is now. It lets me know it's done. I did not finalize it because I obviously haven't put the information in here. That is another nice feature. If a therapist or a physicist gets interrupted in the performance of the QA, they can save where they're at and come back into the schedule and continue, and then finally get it all done and finalize it so it's ready for sign off. So those are those things I wanted to go over with you. Another schedule I'd like to show you, because it's another one of my playgrounds where I get to highlight a few different things, is my temp schedule. Notice with any of these schedules that you have the opportunity to perform it, view reports, or view trending by the simple click of a button on the home page. Again, making it as easy to use as possible. So in this, we have been doing a lot of work, and I mean a lot of work over the past year, maybe even a little bit more, to expand our custom tests. Now, our custom tests have been very robust for a long time, but we've added a lot more calculation types available within tables so that you really can produce the same types of data that you're currently recording in spreadsheets instead, because we want you to be able to move to an electronic platform, have everything securely automatically saved for you. Note that with our product, your data is always your data, and that's a really important thing to note as well, that there seems to be some moves away from that in the various realm of LINAC and QA device manufacturers. So these are just some basic things. They're going to maybe seem like odd tests because I'm not a physicist, so I make stuff up just to be able to highlight things, right? If you've created the baselines, it's going to color code based on either a baseline value or an absolute value. And you're going to be able, in this case, I chose to do an average across the rows and then calculate an overall standard deviation for this table of data. This is one where we're calculating the averages, but because I'm doing averages for multiple energies, it's displayed here below. Here's another one that I created where I'm doing all kinds of things just for fun, right? So I have chosen to sum the rows, be able to calculate an average based on the column, calculate a sum of the column. You can also choose to do these things for select cells within a table. I've also done a couple of additional things. I wanted a standard deviation, and then I wanted an overall average, just because. I could do it, so I did do it. And that's just, again, showing you the type of flexibility. You've got one set of data, but can form multiple types of mathematical functions based on that table of data. So we also have some standard deviation tests, ratio tests, and the averages, like I said, if you're calculating differences, lots of different things like that. The other thing I wanted to go down here and highlight was I mentioned the drag and drop for image-based tests. So here we are, and notice I scrolled down, but you can also just click on a test type over here and it'll take you to that section. So I have chosen to set up this template so that I have a drag and drop by QA test type, if you will. You can also choose to have a single drop box for all of your image-based tests. You need to be a little bit more formal about the naming convention of your image files, but it's easy to do. We don't make it overly complex to do that either. And then you can have the ease of dropping all image-based files into here. You can also add a file by clicking instead of dragging and dropping. I'm kind of old school, so that tends to be the way I go. But then once you have done that, you bring it in, it gets analyzed, you're going to be able to see your image. As I noted, the regions of interest are automatically defined on the images. You get your MTF curve that you're looking for your MV planar, for example, here, spatial resolution, contrast to noise, uniformity to noise information. Just what you would be expecting for this type of QA. Now, while I'm showing you here is the PIPSpro Phantom, and of course, in my heart of hearts, I know that our products are the best, but we don't force you, right? We remain vendor neutral, which means that we support the standard imaging phantoms, the Sun Nuclear phantoms, the Leeds Phantom, the Las Vegas Phantom, the Mobius Phantom for their MV and KV planar imaging QA as well. So we support a variety because we want to make it easy for you to move to a QA management system without having an enormous investment in new equipment when the current equipment you have is still working fine. Now, we'll open up the conversation should certain things come to end of life or age out due to how much radiation's been exposed after 7, 10, whatever years. Of course, we're here to provide you with a solution for that. So Winston Lutz test is another one that I had brought in here. And again, you're going to be able to look at each of the individual images that are used for your Winston Lutz test and get in-depth details on that. So that's what I wanted to do to be able to highlight some of that functionality. So since I talked about custom tests, we're going to go ahead and leave here. I did want to show you what I mean by what we've made available in custom tests. So right now I'm going to scroll on down to my lovely section here, which is my playground. If you're going to add a test, again, we don't just let you do pass-fail test or a text, create a text box and put some information in. We allow you to put in a single value, average, sum, standard, lots of different things here, right? You can create the name. If you create a ratio test, are you using a common denominator? Do you want to average your numerators? If you're using a deviation, what type of deviation? How are you going to label these things? They're important and they offer you a lot of flexibility. Now I'm just going to cancel out this one and go over to the numeric table. So this is again where you're going to be setting up your rows and your columns, what type of equations you're going to be using. And of course, as you put these items together to determine what you're doing, we allow you to preview what those tests look like. So what do I mean by that? For example, probably shouldn't have done that. We'll go back down here. So any of these tests, first of all, we tell you whether it's a numeric table, what type of custom test it is that you have created. We allow you to manage these. We allow you to preview them. So that's what I mean. Here we allow you to preview what is this going to display like in my QA schedule. Is it the format that I was thinking of And if not, then you can fix that in here. You can change those things up by simply going into the manage and how am I going to manage these items. And this is where it actually tells you when you're creating different types of calculations, whether you're doing it on cells, whether I'm doing an overall, it's highlighting for you what cells, rows, or columns are being included in your calculation. Again, to give you the understanding of what's going on when it is presented for QA, performing the QA in a QA schedule. So now I'm going to hop over here to reports, because this is another place where we make it uncomplicated and flexible for you. So QA reports, those are any of the QA that have been performed via schedule that gives you the notice, where are they at, have they been reviewed, have they been signed off, that type of thing. But additionally, we offer you some periodic history reports. I'm going to open this one. These are wonderful time-specific reports that give you a wealth of data that include the trending right here in the display. And as you can see, a variety of trending. Another thing you'll note is that we give you a variety of ways in which to view your data. Do you need to do different type of download? Do you want this as an Excel file? All those types of things. Do you want to print your chart? Those types of things are available here. And as you collect your data, we display it for you and trend it for you each and every time a data point is entered into a QA schedule. So that's that one I wanted to show you. And then you can also generate some summary reports. Again, you can customize these to what is it you want to include on a report. Default, everything is selected, but maybe you want a subset of this information. Again, this is the type of thing that helps you when auditors or regulators come in and want to do certain types of checks. They can ask you for things, you can get them prepared, and then they can view it with their guest login because it's in the report section. You can save your report configurations. You can also, and then run your report configuration. So lots of good information there. Another thing that I wanted to highlight pretty quickly, my time's running out here, is a document section. So again, documents are very important for the physics team. What are the current procedures we're using? What task groups are we following? Or what MVPG8 reports are we following? You can upload those documents here. You can also include Excel, PDF, Word, images, anything that you might need here for your physics team or for your department, you can put in here and have it available for viewing. It's also available to be versioned. So if you have a certain outline procedure for HDR cases or something like that, and then you decide you're going to add LDR brachytherapy, well, you might do that as a separate report. You might update your brachytherapy report, which is currently only HDR, and therefore you want to make a new version. You can do that here, and we will archive the old version. But more importantly, as a departmental communication tool, you can choose who needs to be aware of this. And you can do that via here, but you can do it by role type. You can do it by site. You can do it by specific individuals at locations. You can also assign a date by which they have to have signed off that they have, in fact, reviewed this information. And you will get an email notification. They will get an email notification that they need to do it. And you get an email notification when it's been completed, all that via an internal HIPAA compliant email system built into QA Pilot. So documents is a very important way for departmental communication efficiency. And the last thing I'll hit on for departmental efficiency and flexibility, because there's a lot of things that you can track. Just like there's a lot of things you can track with documents, there's a lot of things that you can track via machine logs. So initially, this was one of the things that we thought of as my machine is down. I need to track that my machine is down. And if it is down, then notice it starts calculating the downtime. lots of space for you to enter information about it. But we quickly found out from users that they wanted to use it for other things. So we've expanded the number of custom fields that are available, which you create in the manage section. So that we have people using it for their physics servers, or a way to communicate with their IT group, or their Linux accessories, their QA devices as well. If something comes in for service, you can mark it as, machine down, so device down, enter information here, and you can actually, as long as you've set it up in the manage section, to email your vendor and have put in your vendor contact information. You can, whatever you put in here, so you do want to be polite and good about what you enter here to clearly state what your issue is. It will email your vendor contact to let them know and get the case started. And once these are saved, they can be edited as you get status updates, or they come in for service. And then they come in for service, but before you close it, you're probably going to want to attach your service report, so you can do that. Attaching documents is, again, something we offer throughout the software in QA schedules, and other locations, so that you can keep all the information related to an event, to a machine servicing, or a project, or any other type of thing that you might want to track in here. You have it available, and it becomes part of your departmental record.